Let's go. Alrighty. It seems... Oh. Alrighty. Let's see what YouTube's... Yep, YouTube's got us back on.
Hey, we're back, are we?
Now we just got to...
Oh, yeah. Are we?
Yeah, it seems that we're live.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Hopefully we can get everyone to come back. That was just absolute madness. I'm not sure. Tell everyone. I'll put it again in the comments. For some reason, OBS crashed on me. Guys, that is live TV for you. Live TV. We were firing, hammering away, looking good, feeling good, and oh mate, I gotta change these. There we go. And we'll get back into it. Fantastic. We've got Ryan back on the screen, just filling it up with the big guns, which is good. Yeah, beauty. Alrighty. Thanks everyone for your patience in the chat. It's pretty cool. I mean, not many people. I thought you guys were playing this. No, I'll just tell you right now. For some reason, try and tell everyone. I just got a notification that OBS is about to crash. It's never crashed on me before. Had to restart the computer and, of course, restart everything. So yeah, we'll wait. Ryan and I will just shoot the shit, and then we'll get back to some of the topics. Tell everyone that we're back. Yeah, and because we're up to like 70, 80 viewers. It was brilliant. So hopefully people come back and.
It's all good. It's all good. In the meantime, you were talking about. I think the next section of your show, or a section that I think I'm anticipating, is to talk about interesting comments that come up.
Oh yes, yeah. I was just hoping more and more will come in the chat, but they can join in afterwards. Now this is a new segment. I want to bring in. Go on.
Before you go on to it, I wanted to tell you about a random comment that I just got then.
Oh.
And I thought, whilst we wait, I can tell this little story a little bit, and it's an interesting. I got a comment, and I'm reading through my YouTube comments, and there's this like 3-paragraph long comment. I'm like, oh, what's this one? And it was a dude telling me how long he's been following me for, how much of a supporter he has been, and believing in me and liking what I do and backing me. He said, but I've now grown to hate you.
Oh, he's gone the opposite.
He said, I've now grown to hate you because I've sent you countless messages on Instagram over the years and you've never responded once. And I just want to clarify for people, if someone's not following you on Instagram and you send them a message, they don't get a notification. It goes into a little pile in the back corner that you don't know about. Now, if you've got a decent amount of social media influence, like go and have a look at Devon Larratt's pile of those messages over there, there'd be tens of thousands. My pile, it's not tens of thousands big, but it's big. So I apologize for not getting back to you, but I didn't see it.
I've had quite the opposite of that comment. I've had a few people message me and say, I used to hate Ryan Bowen, but then after, him coming on your show and you always saying, nice things about him and the things he's done, I've grown to like Ryan Bowen. So we're keeping it even. But speaking of Instagram and things like that, yeah, I feel really bad, and I try and get through them all, but I am blown away because that's where everything this Aussie arm wrestler came from was Instagram, and I'm blown away by the support. But I reckon every day I get 10 to 15 messages. Can you commentate my match? Can you commentate my match? And I try and do every single one, and a lot of people are really patient, and sometimes I just miss people, and it's not on purpose. If I can, I try and do around for everyone, and everyone shares it. So if anyone watching and I'm the same as Ryan. I mean, if you look at my YouTube, I try and reply to every single comment. I try and it gets a bit.
It certainly grows to a point where it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, so
to keep up
it got to like my last video. I was just like, I can't reply to everyone.
Yeah. And I had to tell my mum, because I went through this phase with my mum where my mum was like, Ryan, you left me on scene. What's going on? I'm like, Mum. Like, Mum, you got to realize that I'm busy. I can't stop and type for 10 minutes just randomly. Like, I'll get back to you, Mum. You're the one person in the world that I promise I'll get back to, but it's not, maybe not right away.
Yeah, you've got to, like, my mum's tattooed on my arm. Shout out to Mother Aussie Arm Wrestler. Always got to look after your mums. Now, why we've brought this up is slowly more and more people come back, and this is Uncle John's kind of inspired me. He goes through all the comment sections on all the socials, all the arm wrestling discussion groups and things like that, and picks up some absolute doozies. And some of them are just going full throttle at the moment. They have got foot to the pedal, and some of them are quite funny. And some of them are like, come on, man, like, lift your game. That's just a bit boring. But not everyone can be super funny. So now every week here on the Aussie Arm Wrestling channel, we are going to have comment of the week. And I have asked Ryan, we're going to start with Ryan's comment first, and we can all have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a chat. So I've asked Ryan, send me through. I mean, you probably get more hate, weird, funny comments than anyone, but this one was actually more on the positive sense. Now, it's there. It's from your official promo, what Puller Magazine's doing. He does some really great work as well. He does some really great work. This one says, 2 absolute Giga Chads. I can't even root for either of you since I really like both. May the strongest man win. Now, comment of the week doesn't have to be negative. This one's a positive. And from my understanding, a Giga Chad is someone that either looks like they want to kill you or just gives absolutely no fucks. I think that's my understanding. It's of a Giga Chad. I've only heard the word like 3 times, besides the 3 times I've just said it now.
Yeah, I feel like I want to Google Giga Chad. For me, it was like, I don't know. My Giga Chad. Let's have a look. Giga Chad man. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh yeah. Okay. So Giga Chad looks like. You type in Giga Chad, and this is what you get coming up on Google. Just a dude that is buff as hell, basically. The ultimate Chad Thundercock.
The ultimate Chad Thundercock.
Lachlan certainly fits that category. I've got more of the dad bod thing going on. I'm more like a Toddzilla style body, a Ryan Scott style body. I don't have that. I mean, you don't want to see me with my shirt off. That's the thing. Where Lachlan,
he's an absolute Giga Chad. He's just, he looks unbelievable. And it's like, so then I was like, this one's quite a funny one, and we've had a bit of a laugh. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people out there in the arm wrestling world, what's a nice way to put it? They don't deal with the negativity as well as others. They do struggle if, some people have made comments or they're blocked or whatever. How do you deal with it all? Because I said at the start of the year, and we've had a laugh about it, I said at the start of the year, I predicted you to be the most hated arm wrestler in the world in 2021. And I reckon I've hit the nail on the head there. But for someone that just cops it, I've watched live stream. A funny one the other day, I was watching, I think it was the lead up to Curtis Cameron Ian Carnegie match. And you were the topic of discussion in a Canadian stream that you weren't on the card of or made a video of or anything. And you were the discussion. It was quite hilarious. So how does one deal? Because how does one deal with all of that?
It's pretty easy to me. The first thing is you gotta not take any of it personal. That's the first thing. It takes a while to get to that point. It's not an easy process, but I'm pretty good at water off a duck's back in taking it personal sort of way. And then you got to realize that there's actually gold in it. in the criticisms that even if someone who genuinely doesn't like you, like they're not trying to be funny, they're not trying to be a troll, they genuinely hate you and they genuinely think your product is shit. Like there are those people out there, and they're the ones that will get personal. But the thing is, there's still something. There's a little gold nugget in their criticisms. So if you can take your "I'm getting offended and upset" hat off and actually say, all right, well, what is it? What is it this person doesn't like about the way I deliver stuff, the way I act, the way I create events, the way I compete, the way I make content, whatever it is. Log it down, observe it, log it down, and you'll actually find that they are helping you to improve, despite the personal attacks. You got to observe everyone. You got to observe the entire audience that's watching your product, and constantly listen to them. You don't have to agree with them all, but constantly listen to them. And when you listen to the market, they will collectively steer you towards success. If you can see through the blinkers and take the blinkers off and see through the muck of the personal insults, the market will guide you to the pathway to success. They'll tell you what you're doing wrong in a basic sense. Like, don't listen to one person, but listen to the collective masses, and you will improve your game to a new level and end up, you'll turn the haters into fans.
Well, if I thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, I'm not a strong arm wrestler, but I am putting myself there as one of the heavyweight champions of the world when it comes to talking, when it comes to quick wit and firing back. I grew up with a family of wordsmiths, and when you're the youngest and trying to survive, you need to know how to talk. So I thoroughly enjoy it. But if I was to take, and that advice is great, but if I was to take the two things that a lot of people say about me, our live stream would be me sitting in silence. Two things people hate is ready bang. That's my catchphrase, and that will never leave. It's the most popular catchphrase in the arm wrestling world. And the second thing is people hate my voice. Now, I'm a loud guy in general, and my voice is always projected. But a lot of the times I get, stop screaming at the camera, and I'm just an energetic, excited son of a gun. I'm just a loud guy. So yeah, so if I took those two things and improved on that, we would have no amazing catchphrase.
It's not the Aussie arm wrestler anymore.
That's what I mean. I'm just sitting there staring at a screen. But yeah, it's
if you start talking like Devin and looking off in the distance and saying only 10 words a minute, it's not going to look and feel right. If that suits Devin, it doesn't suit Aussie arm wrestler, that's for sure. No, but
the Aussie arm wrestler is loud, in your face, and he's always up and about like I am here.
I've witnessed you on a mic for 8 hours at an event without stopping.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can do that. And at the pace that you're doing, but even more, because it's hyping matches and it's live and it's real and it's flowing. And I'm like just that in itself is a physical feat. It's a mental feat. It's a talent that is very rare. So,
and I even tried to pull, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So what Ryan's talking about is I was lucky enough to go up to Queensland. They had the state titles. Ryan had a super match as well, and we had over, I think it was about 316 matches. And I was your commentator. I was your hype man. And I tried pulling in the 95 kilos, and when I went to the table, I was just spent. I was just trying to talk and spent. So I've been trying to work out how to transform from commentator into athlete, and then come back and commentate. But yeah, it was fun, and I was on the microphone 7-8 hours, and then chatting with everyone. It was a great time, a great night. But I got no problem. I'm not short of a word. That's that's for sure. And if you've met Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler, she's not short of a word either. She can go. So we went on a first date 6 years ago, and we haven't stopped talking since. So good on everyone that tries to get me to shut up. It is not going to happen. But moving from Giga Chads, we'll go to the Aussie Arm Wrestlers comment of the week. And mine comes from my video. Levan crushes Dave. I was wrong. So it was after Levan has a win. I made a quick video, and I think I briefly spoke about who would pull next, and it's like, dude, you're a fangirl of Larratt and Americans. Of course, you are wrong. Lol. You don't understand nothing of the sport. What I want to point out, thank you, because grammatically, that's a double negative. So this negative comment has turned into a positive, because if I don't understand nothing, that means I understand everything of the sport. So thank you, my man, for that comment, because what you thought was a negative outlay turns into a positive. So you have just come on, and I've been able to show everyone on the Aussie Arm Wrestler Show that I know everything about the sport. And thank you for being the first member of Comment of the Week. And this is why anyone out there that wants to have a shot at the title, you have just destroyed your comment in C-grade material. But that's, I'm a fangirl of Devon, because I think in the video I said I wanted to see Devon pull Levan, just like the rest of the world. And, like you, I was like, if Devon thickens up, he can... He can... For me,
I want to put a poll out on my channel. I was thinking about it just before I fell asleep last night at 3:15 a.m. I was going to put a poll out. What weight? At what weight does Devon become the favourite against the one? And list a whole bunch of weights. Like 400-pound Devon, he's the favourite. But is 350-pound Devon the favourite? Is 330-pound Devon the favourite? Is 300-pound Devon the favourite? Yeah, I'd love to know the people's opinions. And then Devon will. I'm sure Devon would enjoy that poll too. He'll then have a target to aim for.
Well, jump in the comments now, guys. What weight? What weight? Because if you're not a fan of Devon, I don't know why you're in the sport of arm wrestling.
How can you not be a fan of Devon?
He's done so much, and he's a great dude. The one thing he hasn't done is climb Mount Everest and come on the Aussie Arm Wrestler Show, but that will happen. But let me know in the comments, what weight does Devon become the favourite? But yeah, at the moment, some of the comments quite funny. I'll go through some of the comments. YouTube's crazy these days. A lot of censoring going on. Jake Tersey, loud talkative encyclopedia of arm wrestling. People just someone says, whoa. He starts with, I'm a fangirl. Yeah, everyone's roughly the same. Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestlers give a ready bang. Yeah, my man Simon, Throttle Villain, trains with us at House of Pain. He says, we love ready bang. You've got to. Ryan delivers stuff like a postman all the mother fluffing time. I don't know what that means. You take too long to say stuff. That's what I'm reading. Beer body, yeah, okay. So we've got 330 pounds, 325 pounds, 320 pounds, 335, maybe 340. So far. But get over, make sure you go and vote on Ryan's channel.
Yeah, and like Devon came in at 295 when he beat Michael. That was the biggest Devon we've seen, and he beat Michael convincingly. When I asked Devon on the live stream the other day that he joined us on, he made the declaration that I asked him, "Are you going to come in over 300 pounds?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, of course, you're going to be well over 300 pounds." So I think he realizes that he needs to be more than he was for Michael. At the end of the day, Devon, if you look at the paths for victory for Devon, it's from what we saw against Dave. I don't even think that Devon can necessarily slip. Devon couldn't slip John when they were the same weight. I don't think Devon's going to be able to slip Levan either. Maybe he's creative enough to get a slip, but I think he needs to plan a genuine inside threat against Levan. I mean, he's tall enough and long enough that he can get in, so it's access to power is not going to be a problem. It's can his frame withstand the side pressure surge of Levan? Can he coil up now? And now to be able to stand in front of the freight train that is Levan and not have your shit break.
Could he take his hand without slipping?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think he'll take his hand. No way.
It
No
was.
way. I think Devon's going to try to hook him. He's going to try to high hook him. We're going to see classic fundamental high hook Devon. He will stay as tall and pronated as he can whilst hooking, and he'll jam all of his connective tissue in the way and desperately try to get a stop. And if it does stop, Devon wins. But if it doesn't stop, well, yeah.
and yeah, it'll be interesting. Now, everyone in the comments, just quickly before we move on to the next thing, if Devon and Levan pulled, next month or the end of the year, tell me who would win. Out of Devon versus Levan, I tip Ryan Bowen 6-0, but you guys let me know who you think.
April 22.
Yeah, mate, I have wrote that down. Now, I always love playing a game. Now, I usually put a picture up, but I didn't want to, and you will understand why. Of course, everyone knows when the Aussie Arm Wrestler has a show, we've got to play, you've got to pin one, you've got to lose to one, and you've got to get rid of one and say, no more arm wrestling ever again. Now, your three options are, of course, the man of the moment, the man we have been talking about, Levan Saganishvili. There's your first one. Big. Now, we're going to move over to big dudes, but in Australia, and that is one, Lachlan Adair.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, you may know this person very well. And if I could copy Neil pick up and lean into the microphone. Well, let me bring the microphone here. Bradley the Vanilla Gorilla.
Oh. Yeah.
For those that don't know, if you don't know, Bradley the Vanilla Gorilla is Ryan's son. It's Ryan's son. So you've got to pin one, you've got to lose to one, and you've got to tell one of them, no more arm wrestling. And everyone in the comments, join in on the game as well. If I can put my serious face on, I will not take any negative comments towards Bradley. Like, if you want to get rid of Bradley, that's fine, but you just leave it at that. Pin one, lose one, get rid of one. But join in the fun and banter, please.
Straight away, I'm going to answer the lose. I'd like to lose to Bradley. Now, in the reason I say that is, I'll do everything within my power to never lose to Bradley, but it'll be so cool. It'll be so cool the day that he does beat me. Like, I had someone comment when Bradley and I were arm wrestling a few months ago, and Bradley was interviewing. He was part of a podcast interview that we did. Bradley was crushing it. He's crushing it. He's slaying it. Look, here he is.
There's the man. You're a part of my game, Brad.
Good.
Yeah, and someone made the comment that, Ryan, one day you'll be better known as Bradley's father than Ryan Blue Bowen himself. And I'm like, I agree. Bradley is that talented and that strong that, I reckon I'll lose to this guy, but you're gonna have to work hard to beat it because you got to chase that down.
It's funny you mention that, because I'm a firm believer of karma, and I'm a firm believer of genetics and passing on generations. But I believe there might be a young fella named Wayne that's probably better known as Blue's dad. Because for those that don't know, Ryan's dad was a phenomenal, and he's still strong as an ox now, phenomenal arm wrestler, and was hoping to go compete at Worlds in Singapore not that long ago, or did compete in Singapore and
he finished fourth in the Grand Masters in 2015 in the 90 kilo category. So he did well, and he's got that hand and wrist of a farmer that's just like, what on earth? And it's funny when people there's photos out there of me and my dad from just like 2-3 years ago, where my dad still looks way stronger than me. It's like, oh my goodness, look at the hand and wrist on him. Like, I've got an 8 3/4 inch wrist. Dad's wrist is like 9.5 inches. So it's a badass wrist.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll lose to Brad, but like I said, I'll do everything within my power to stop him, but he'll surpass me for sure. So then it gets to the tricky ones, the pin one, lose one. Like,
now, pin one and get rid of one. You're losing to the Vanilla Gorilla.
Pin one, get rid of one. I'm really torn on this. I'm torn on this because there's short term, there's long term. Like long term, I want to see how high I can get. I'm willing to dream as high as I want to potentially be number one in the world at some stage in my career. So I don't think LeVan's going to be around by the time I'm talking 15, 20 years from now is when I think I'll be at my peak. So I don't think LeVan's going to be around to beat by then. So I think it naturally leans towards saying get rid of LeVan, beat Lachlan. But it's something about it right now. Lachlan's my enemy, so screw him. He can go.
He can go, and you get to pin LeVan. There we go. That's brilliant. I quite like it. I was wondering how it was going. Yeah, usually I have a picture, but I didn't want to put a picture of Brad on there, and I didn't want to tell you I was going to put a picture of Brad. Hence why there's no picture.
And then you got the real version turn up anyway.
Yeah, which is amazing. Just one quick comment before we move on. Quite hilarious. Levan Saganishvili's kidney says interesting super match. Bradley Bowen versus RVJ's daughter.
That actually, I think RVJ's daughter's, how old is she? She's, she might be 9 or 10 or something like that. So maybe that'd actually be a great match. I mean, Bradley's 8. The girl, under 12 years old, it's like even playing field, girls, boys. There's no genetic advantage to the boys, and actually find that the girls actually do slightly better than the boys on average under age 12. And yeah, RVJ's daughter, that viral video was amazing. Her proficiency in movements was spectacular. And that's what Bradley has as well. And that's what I love seeing in kids. It's not necessarily just strength yet. It's just table IQ and efficiency. And the value of table IQ and efficiency in a kid when they arm wrestle all the other kids out there, it's crazy. I'll pick up Bradley from school of an afternoon and he'll be arm wrestling a whole bunch of kids. It'll be king of the table and they'll all just be lining up to go through Bradley. And Bradley's just chatting and just holding people and then just pins them whenever he feels like it. And it's just, and the kids are just like, how on earth is this happening? And these are kids 2-3 years older than him. And it's just like, yeah. How is it? The kids are just confused, but it's all just table IQ and
technique. Yeah, and that's what I love about the sport is like I've pinned guys way stronger than me. And technique just can really overcome power, and it's obviously not when you get to the 175 kilo stage, but I've taught some friends a few moves and then they're at the pub pinning people. It's quite it's quite interesting. Arm Wrestling Gamer says need another live stream with Lachlan and Bowen pre-fight match interview. Don't worry, I'm going to have them two on and we're going to just do a whole live stream about the upcoming match, but that's a bit later on. Don't want to do it now because we still got 6 weeks to go. Before we finish up, Ryan, because we've been going a few times, I've got 4 upcoming matches, and I just want to get one word who your tip is for these ones.
Ooh. You want a one-word tip?
One word.
After my last you realize my last prediction video went for like 10 minutes on the elaborate slips and everything.
That's right.
No, one word. Shit, okay.
One word. John Brezink versus Dimitri Kachan. John Brezink versus Paul Lynn.
John.
Todd Hutchings versus Corey West.
Todd.
RVJ versus Sasho Andreev.
Sasha.
There you go. Beautiful. $4.99 super chat from Repulsive Gravity. How big are you willing to get to reach your goals, Ryan? What is your head size?
I think there's a tape measure around here. Give me 10 seconds.
You go find it. I'm going to have a chat with everyone in the comments, get some questions in. What have we got here? Lachlan versus Arakli. Arakli was so impressive at top 8. I was so impressed with the way he pulled Dan Mosier. I mean, Dan Mosier is a tournament puller, but that's nothing for taking away from Arakli. He stonewalled and took every hit from... he's measuring his head. From Dan Mosier.
Give us your prediction, YouTube.
So everyone in the chat, guess what Ryan's head size is. I'll give you a few seconds before he does it. People saying Bozy is my favourite puller. Who's next for Derek Smith? I hope Derek Smith and Chance Shaw have a match. One true ace rider. And for my favourite Aussie arm wrestler, fucking bang. Good man. Love it. Everyone in the chat, guess Ryan's head size. We've got...
I do think that head size directly correlates to arm wrestling potential too. John Brzezink's head is stupid big. You don't realise it when you look at him, but you go to put one of his hats on and you're like, what is this? And he says, yeah, I have to get it custom made, the hats. All right.
So we got 20, 22, 24, 25 and a half inch, 21 inch. Thank you to Karcher, just telling me Arakal is a tournament puller as well. That's really interesting, and I was just very impressed. Alrighty, here we go. What are we on? He's stuck in the middle of his head.
We lost it.
We're zooming in.
24 and a half.
24 and a half. Who was closest to the pin? Fox 8 Ball, closest to the pin at the moment. And then people have wrote 55 and 59 centimetres. So...
What is that? Well,
smart people. I don't do inches or pounds. It's kilos and centimetres.
I've become accustomed to the American bloody system on that stuff. So 55 would have been... No, that would have been 21 and 3/4. Way off.
Jason Latona's just jumped in the chat and he goes, "Oi, you C words." I find that's one thing I find very funny. Like I've had quite a few mates, that I've met through this arm wrestling journey, as of you have, and especially people from the United States, North America region. They just find it fascinating that we use the C word at times as terms of endearments. So when people try and jump in the chat and try and do a bit of Aussie banter with me and they drop that in there, I will get an apology message straight after because they just can't fathom it because us Aussies we butcher the English language. So
I'll tell you who does have a big head. Marcus Satirai. When it comes to heads, that's the biggest I've ever seen.
He's just a big guy. Last time I was chatting, the Polynesian community, they're strong, big people. So that doesn't surprise me. He just has the biggest heads. Now, before we wrap up, Ryan, tell everyone what could be coming up. I don't want you to give too much away because your content is straight fire at the moment and the views and subs are showing for it. But give everyone just a bit of a teaser or an update of what you hope's happening over the next few weeks.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I'm missing something that I told you earlier. I mean, there's a lot going on. Over the next few weeks, for me, the big emphasis is on the build-up towards Arm Wars.
Yes.
Over the next 3 weeks, we're only 3 weeks away from Arm Wars. There's so many insanely good matches there. RVJ Sasho, Ryan Espy, and Kadecha, Giannis, and Jeff Hale.
That four-way battle, yeah.
The list goes on. So I mean, that's for me what's happening. But am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Did I tell you something that I've forgotten?
Oh, I think you might have told me something off camera, but we'll leave it off camera.
Give me a hint.
Nah. No chance. No, at all. I mean, so much is happening in the arm wrestling world. So we've got Arm Wars. We've got John Brezink having 2 super matches. Devon and Thor, which I'm sure both of us will be doing a watch party for and having a bit of a laugh. That big boxing match. We've got Arm Wars. What else? I think IFA Worlds is happening this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah, that's just an American tournament.
Yeah, but it's action. It's action that I'm excited for. And then, Talk, Larry Wheels announces he's having a match. I'm going to get Brandon Allen on the show and we're going to have a chat about his match. Like, there's heaps going on in the arm wrestling world, which is...
You've got me stumped. You've got me so stumped on what I told you off camera that's coming up. I'm sitting here rattling through my brain like, what if I forgot?
Well, while you think of that, I'm going to go through some of the comments. Ryan is evolving into a Hydra. Lol. Reindeer Ward wants to know, where's Richard Lupkeys? I would love to sit down and have a chat with Richard Lupkeys. I've got no idea. Ryan Bowen's next match is at the end of October. So just quickly talking about that, it's going to be good. We're very lucky. So, of course, Ryan is going to live stream his own match. I mean, that's inevitable. But there's a whole event going on beforehand. And myself and Andy Amario from the Andy Amario Show are going to be commentating those matchups. But then Ryan has generously, because I think people forget how generous he is, he's going to allow us to screen share and live stream on our channels as well. So hopefully all 3 channels will be firing and all 3 channels will have the commentary. We're just trying to work out the nooks and cranny about that. But once again, just Ryan being a good person. Jason Latona is saying, Ryan, please don't hurt LeVar when he comes to Brisbane. He's not coming anymore. He said it on the show. LeVar's making a movie. He's in some Netflix movie, part 2 of a Netflix movie. But unfortunately, due to what the world's going through, he is not coming through there. Guy, I'll leave it open for about a minute. If anyone's got a question, best question asked. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up because I've taken over a couple of chats and bloody thank you for everyone coming back after OBS crashed and things like that. So if anyone's got a really cool question for Ryan, people are saying I'm staking Ryan.
I just saw a good question.
Sorry.
Performance enhancing pancakes. Ask me, Ryan, are you going to hook Lachlan or is it a secret? I will happily tell you guys right now how I'm going to beat Lachlan. Lachlan is terrified to hook me. Let me just say that. Lachlan will run for the hills for the straps. He's terrified to hold on to me and hook me. If he tries to hold on to me and hook me, he knows that I will outhook him. And before he can get access to that big bicep and rotation that he likes to ease into in training, I'll pin him. So he's terrified of that. So he'll probably try to top roll. But then in his nervousness and his energy where he knows he can't hook me, he also will overexpose his hand and wrist to being top rolled. And this is where it comes in. I have aces on both sides of the spectrum. Depending on the way that grip balances, you may see rounds where I put him into a hook and pin him and out-rotate him and just drive sideways before he can access his power. Or you may see me just entirely crack his wrist and pin him with side pressure. He's going to be stuck in indecision between those 2 options. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance you'll see me hook him in at least 2 or 3 rounds.
Oh, Ryan has predicted he's going to turn into a drug dealer because there's going to be so much crack on the table and it involves Lachlan Adair's wrist. That is unbelievable. We'll wrap it up there because we'll waffle on. And, you know, when we catch up, I mean, we spoke for 45 minutes last night just on the phone, having a yarn, and then another bloody hour and whatever here. Ryan, mate, you are one of the busiest guys in the arm wrestling world. You're on The Fix every week, which is such a fun show to watch when everyone gets a chance. Guys, if you can, do what you can. Obviously, support my channel, but do what you can to support Ryan's channel because I think people just don't understand. He's so generous with everything, whether it's time or his money. He sponsors YouTube channels. Anytime anyone shares a live stream with him, Ryan just gives half the money, things like that. And he rings other content creators, including myself, and gives tips and tricks. So if Ryan's found, which he is, he's shooting fire at the moment, but he rings everyone and goes, hey guys, try this. It's working for me. This is what I've done. And he's trying to help other channels grow as well. So, yeah. So, if you can, go and support everything with Ryan. Go and stake on that big, big matchup that we can't.
You know it. Like I said, the arm wrestlers are staking me. The fans are staking Lachlan. Just let that sink in.
Now,
if you're considering which way to bet, let that sink in. That's your final thought.
I'll quickly ask now, what happens next if you beat Lachlan?
After Lachlan?
After Lachlan.
Well, man, I want to do an American tour is one thing, and I also want to visit Europe. I want to go. If I go to Europe, I want to pull. I'd love to pull Irakli. Irakli's really. if I go to the US, I'm going to go for a month and I'm going to have 4 super matches in that trip. I'm going to do one every weekend, and I'm not going to do any training pulling. I'm going to beat Paul Lynn, and then I'm going to have a week off. Then I'll beat Todd Hudgens, and I'll have a week off. And then I'll have a crack at maybe, I don't know, like a Ron Bath. And then I'd actually like to experience a ready go with even someone that realistically I can't beat yet, but I just want the data collection. Someone like Michael Todd. Just like garage ready go with Michael Todd sort of thing. That's what I want to do.
Bang! There it is. That's what we love it. Ryan, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much, everyone. Apologies that OBS for some reason just crashed and we ended up having to do a second stream. But a lot of you came back, which I'm greatly appreciative. I'm greatly appreciative of the comment section, which is going nuts. Sorry to didn't get... When I have a guest on, it's hard to get to everyone's comments. So really, really appreciate everyone in the chat, and also appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on.
No, always, man. It's always a pleasure. You're kicking ass, so keep going. And one day I might just challenge you for that trophy, that left arm trophy.
Oh, get in line, big boy. This will be the biggest money purse match. You think I'm just going, I will probably have a 7-year qualifying series, and then the winner of that qualifying series has to put up $50,000 to just go, let's have a shot. This is more after than a WAL hammer or a top 8 performance. I tell you, this here is where it's at. Guys, that's it for me. I've got to go. You all look after yourself. You're all a bunch of big legends, just like Ryan Bowen is. And as always, ready, bang!